James was flustered. Ever since he had got into an accident with some tar tankers, every engine that passed had done nothing but ridicule the red engine. "Make sure you don't run into the tar tankers today, James," they would tease. "You wouldn't want to have Toby and Percy come and save you again." And this made James very cross. James had been allocated to Knapford Yards until he could be responsible with trucks again. "Be careful, James," Henry called out from the platform. "Don't break any more tar tankers. After all," he concluded, "the tar is meant to stay inside the tanker, not out of it." This made James very angry. Later that afternoon, James was being rough with the trucks. "Get in line! Get in line!" James barked. "Not so hard! Not so hard!" the trucks wailed. As he gave some trucks a shove down the siding, he muttered to himself, "Silly Henry! I'll show him! I'll show him!" But he didn't know how. The next morning, James was finishing up his morning shunting when Thomas came in, pulling 2 tar wagons. "The Fat Controller wants these taken to the works on the next goods train," he explained. "They're the last of damaged tankers from your, sticky situation and must be loaded onto flatbeds. If not, they could get damaged even more." However, James wasn't listening to Thomas. He was thinking of a plan to pay Henry out. "James," interrupted Thomas, "you listening?"
Yes. Yes, of course I was,"
spluttered James.
"Put the tanks on the next goods train. Got it."
Thomas smiled and steamed off, leaving James grinning to himself as a devious idea came to mind. James watched until Thomas was out of sight. Then, without anyone noticing, he silently coupled up to the tankers and puffed away. Earlier that day, it was Henry's turn to pull the express. However, this had gone unbeknownst to James, who thought Henry was pulling the next goods train. When at last the goods train did arrive, James put the broken tankers onto the train, without putting them on flatbeds like Thomas had told him.
"This'll show Henry. Broken tar wagons,"
he snickered. The guard blew his whistle and James whistled goodbye, but when the other engine blew their whistle, James's face went pale.
"Oh dear," gasped James. "That's not Henry at all. That's Edward."
The wheels of the tankers groaned and creaked as the train went along. "What is all that noise?" questioned Edward, but thought nothing of it. As the train stopped and started, the coupling on the first tanker started to strain. Soon the axle boxes ran hot. Edward started to slow down as to sort out the problem, but the sudden change in speed had given the trucks a fierce bump. That had done it. The coupling on the first tanker broke and the truck derailed, pulling the last few trucks and the brakeman with it. Edward was horrified. Later, Thomas came to clear up the mess when he noticed something. "Look there!" he exclaimed, looking at the tar wagon. That looks like one of the tanks abroad. James! There's the other one!" The Fat Controller stared.
"Well," he grimaced, "let's see what James has to say about this one."
Meanwhile, James was shunting, still worried about the whole ordeal, when all of a sudden,
"James!"
boomed the Fat Controller. His voice echoed throughout the yard. James gulped. He knew he was in trouble now.
"What were you thinking putting those tanks on Edward's train?"
Stammered James.
"Sorry, sir." That is no excuse,
the Fat Controller scolded.
I'm truly sorry, sir.
James continued.
I thought it was Henry pulling that train.
Then he said quietly,
I wanted to pay him back for teasing me, sir.
The Fat Controller sighed. Putting another engine's train in danger is no way of payback, he said. You should have known the dangers of doing something so ignorant. Once you finish up here, you shall go to your shed for the rest of the day. You need some time to think about what you have done. James finished his shunting and went back to the sheds. The other engines came in shortly thereafter. Well, 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 murmured Henry. Your luck with tar isn't all that good now, is it, James? James said nothing. Ah well, we live and learn. Maybe next time, try a trick like that. Maybe play it on the right engine, alright? However, deep inside James, he knew he'd never play a trick like that again.